Hey yo! Welcome back to the Dugout and Beyond. We had first week of the XFL and has returned after being canceled a couple weeks into the 2020 season. Of course, we all know what happened, COVID. Won't get into that too much, but yeah, we had the return of it this past weekend, and of course we have week 2 coming up. So first week we had the Vipers and Renegades play. We had the Guardians and Roughnecks play. Battlehawks against the Bahamas, Sea Dragons against the Defenders. And we had Renegades 1, Roughnecks 1, Battlehawks 1, and Defenders 1. From what I do know, I try to watch as many as possible. Of course, we had basketball on, and golf. We had Tiger Woods come up. And if you watch my last videos, I have been doing the updates for those too. So I didn't watch all of them, and I didn't watch. I watched some of them, but not completely, because of course I was bouncing back and forth from a bunch of things. But for the most part, it was actually pretty exciting. I definitely think it's going to be as big as NFL, because of course it is former NFL. Some are, of course, people that have been cut from NFL teams. Some have been on NFL teams. Some have been great in college, aka AJ McCarron, who's on the St. Louis Battlehawks. And yeah, so definitely going to be an exciting time. We have great owners with this. We of course have The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, who has now been in the last couple, probably about 10 years at least, been a global icon in so many ways, and he is one of the basically owners of this. He has some business partners that they're definitely just gonna try and bring this along and make this as big as possible, and bring in as much excitement to it as possible. Of course, there are different rules to this. You can, when you get a touchdown, you can go for 1, 2, or 3. And then also, when there's onside kicks in NFL, there's just I think it's a 4th and 15 conversion they can complete to get the first down to keep the ball again. So the Battlehawks were down by, I think it was 15-3 in the 4th, and they scored 15 points in the 4th. And it was crazy because they were down, and then they had all this happen. They were down, they got touchdowns, they got the 3-point, then they got the 4th and 5th, 15, and then they just came back. But so yeah, there was no it was crazy that game was actually under, and it still stayed barely under. The over was like 33.5, and I think, if my math is right, I think it would, or maybe just went over. Yeah, not doing math on this, but yeah, there was never really a blowout. The Seattle Sea Dragons and the DC Defenders was a blowout for a little bit. Actually, no, it was the Guardians and Roughnecks that actually did stay as a blowout. Roughnecks 33 and Guardians 12. But yeah, this was a very nice, very exciting second inaugural season of the XFL. The previous one I mentioned in the last XFL was owned by Andrew Luck's dad. But yeah, so definitely have some different. The teams are all somewhat mixed around now. Like in 2020, it was the New York. I think it was the New York either Guardians or Renegades. And now neither of them in New York. They're in Texas and in Florida. So there's the New York one, there's the LA one, there was, I think, like someone in Detroit. But nevertheless, it was exciting. I don't really care where they are. I'm just trying to see, like, of course I don't want to be like, oh hey, they're the best ones, I'm a fan of them now. But yeah, I don't really have a favorite uniform. I don't really have a favorite players yet. I don't really have much going on. I'm just casually trying to enjoy the game. And of course we have the USFL is also playing. I'm not exactly sure when they are supposed to be heading off, but that is also a league. Let me take a quick look at when they are actually supposed to play. USFL schedule 2023. They are supposed to start in April, it looks like. But I don't know much. I actually know a lot less about this. But I'll definitely look into it. But yeah. So the first week is April 15th and 16th. We have New Jersey Generals, Miami Panthers, Philadelphia Stars, Pittsburgh Maulers, Birmingham Stallions, New Orleans Breakers, Memphis Showboats, and Houston Gamblers. So yeah, there's a lot more teams, and there not more, but there's actually looks like the same amount, maybe about 2 more teams. But hey, so April we basically have football now almost all year round at this point. Of course, if everything in the world goes for the most part as planned, we'll basically have from August to probably around the same thing. Since we have February now, and then we have April a couple months later. We're gonna most likely have actual football all year round, which should be pretty exciting for the most part. And of course, we have baseball and basketball and golf. So just all year round, just great games, hopefully, and all that. So, but yeah. So this coming weekend, we have the St. Louis Battlehawks against the Sea Dragons, the Defenders against the Vipers, Bahamas against the Guardians, and Renegades against the Roughnecks. I do remember watching the Viper game. The Renegades were down and got 2 pick sixes, so it was basically actually like a real football game for that one. But yeah, so the Renegades actually did come back in that game and have 2 pick sixes and just a bunch of great defense to back out the Vipers and get that solid win. But yeah, so solid 1 week in the book for the XFL. Looking forward to the second week, and of course also, as I mentioned, the start of the USFL in a little bit. And of course we have basketball, as I mentioned, and we're almost at March Madness, which actually kind of blows my mind a little bit of how fast it's actually going. But I think that for the most part, a lot of teams have a chance of winning. But we'll get into that in a couple weeks when that actually is a thing. We are going to have the conference championships in a little bit. But yeah, so right now XFL in full swing, and I'm excited to see how the rest of the season goes. If you're enjoying it, if you have a favorite team, if you want me to have your favorite team, comment it below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.